Hello, everybody. It is me, Pacific, on a Thursday evening. Wanted to update you on a couple things. Very tragic news out of southwestern Oregon, little town about 21,000 miles. I think it was Roseburg. A shooter killed 10 people confirmed dead. And I thought this would be a perfect tie-in because the authorities are swarming all over this. And just wanted to tell you that Legatus Lanius has issued another threat to Michael Laidlow, which Michael published in full on the comments on one of the videos. I think it was Ling Ling, I cannot hear you, or I can't hear you. I wanted to give a personal message to Legatus Lanius. We have seen your Google page, and I'm going to put that in the link for my viewers to look at, that Legatus Lanius is addicted to video games. Legatus has left all kinds of FU comments and stuff all down his thing. It's very clear from his videos that he's very vitriolic, antagonistic against Christianity and Christians. There's videos he's watched and says that, people believe this stuff to make big money, etc. He also, one of his viewer buddies said, "You're effing everywhere," and he says, "I'm always on YouTube." Legatus is responsible for the Encyclopedia Dramatica page. He's responsible for the numerous threats he's made against me and now Mr. Laidlow. And I'm addressing this because this is very timely to talk about. When people do this stuff, they're very dumb, because with the stuff going on in West Coast Oregon, people making online threats, probably not a good idea for Legatus Lanius to do this. But let's talk about Legatus and his video game addiction. The stupid game of Halo, the stupid game of Fallen 3, etc. No offense, gamers, but people who spend an inordinate amount of time with video gaming are living in a fantasy world. I remember when I was in high school, Mammoth High School, I can remember their names first and last to this day. The guys that did the D&D, the Dungeons and Dragons, they were outcasts. They were not handsome. They were rejected by the pretty girls, rejected by the jocks. They were considered a little out there. But they grouped together, and when they were together, they convinced themselves that they were these entities and beings. And if you look at Legatus, he's assumed the entire role of Halo characters, Fallen characters, Legatus, Lanius, the different names, Chaos, Theosis, all part of the video games. I did not know this. Several of my viewers are looking at his page in depth and seeing a very disturbed individual who's taken role play beyond role play and has assumed the position of fictional gaming characters. He likes using my full name. He loves saying Michael McGinty Nelson. He loves to say that. Again, this is his power trip. A guy that will not show his portrait, guy that will not give audio or his voice, a guy who's not going to make a video, a guy who's not going to give his first, middle, and last name or the name of his parents and siblings and where he lives and stuff like that. All the classic signs of somebody very familiar with internet abuse, as well as internet snooping, as well as making threats and thinking he's anonymous. He is being watched. He is being watched by law enforcement authorities. He is being watched with the comments that he's leaving. And it's funny that he's leaving these comments in places that you, my viewers, can't see them. He has not been leaving messages in my inbox on my channel anymore. I did want to say that. He is not. I'm sure that that will change. But as you can see, he threatened Michael Laidlow, and he said, "Well, why don't you come meet me and I'll take care of you?" And of course, he responded with First Pacific Ocean Asia with my full name. Legatus, I have a message for you. Make my day, buddy. Because I'm going to tell you something. Watching this Oregon shooting, all you're doing is leaving a pattern and a fingerprint that if you do anything, we'll know exactly where to get you. You're not smart enough to hide from internet servers. Not at all. Your video gaming addiction, your circle of friends, they'll start questioning every single one of them. And I'm sure your circle of friends that are on the gaming side probably don't know you're doing this because you're probably living a double life. Unlike you, I'm not going to talk about your friends. You like to take shots at my friends that weren't doing anything to you. I don't know your friends. They're not part of this. So I take you on, and I take you on single-handedly with my response to you, not threats, but response saying, I'm man to man. I could stand to you face to face, and I'll stand my ground. You making threats on the internet is child's play, and it will ultimately get you in trouble if you act on them. So far, you haven't, but be aware that I am alert, and it is being noticed by many people. We're on to you. But looking at your Google page and looking at all your video game addiction and you saying we will not let Caesar, we must be true to Caesar and all that, I hate to burst your bubble, big boy, but it is 2015. Caesar is dead. And you're assuming the play of a game in a Roman Empire that has long ago left the scene. It's time for you to enter the real world. It's time for you to get off the internet all the time and go get a job. Do something productive in the lives of others, which I don't think you're capable of. And I'm not going to devote a lot of time to you, but you still want to keep making threats, and you still want to keep leaving comments, and you want to threaten a guy like Michael Laidlow who could tie you up with one hand behind his back. And like I told you before, the women I work with in my workplace could send you out in a body bag. The women are tougher than you are that I work with, bud. In fact, I told one of the head alpha females in my workplace about you. True story. She said, yeah, I've had somebody make threats at me on the internet. She goes, for real? I said, yeah, he's a gamer boy, doesn't have his picture. And I made a comment in one of my videos. I said, I know an alpha female that I work with that would love to take on a guy like you. And she said to me, oh, I wish he'd show up down here. She said I would definitely give him a warm welcome and then send him a packing. That's from her lips, not mine. And I know she would. So, you know what? You're an internet squash bug. That's it. You're addicted to video games. You know absolutely nothing about theology. Nothing. You spend all your time in video gaming. You're not somebody to consult in matters of God and faith and science or anything. You live in a fantasy world. That's all that needs to be said. People listen to me because I have knowledge, knowledge of many things. I don't pay a lot of attention to video games. I'm okay with video games if they're a sideboard. But when they become your life and you start assuming the mantra of fictitious characters, child's play. This is Pacific signing off. It's time for you to grow up, Legatus. It's time for you to grow some pubic hairs. It's time for you to stop playing little games on the internet because it's going to bite you in the ass. I promise you. This is Pacific signing off. Bye-bye.